Thank you. It's now I'm alone, as Shakespeare once said. Now I'll just start to express myself. Yes, I'm a student. First of all, I'm 21 years old student. Tomorrow will my birthday. It's another useless information, but I'm a man of annoying person who loves to express annoying information. I'm also LSA, which is a LinkedIn Skill Assessment certified Kotlin expert. I'm a local Compose Camp instructor for GDAC MCBU, which is my university, Manisa Gerard Bayar University, and also I'm a DevFest speaker about Kotlin and various topics related into mobile app development. But I think it's really enough to express about me and continue about Kotlin. So what about Kotlin? Kotlin was built by software development tool creators JetBrains in 2010, which is really obvious. But in 7 years, 7 long years, Google announced that Kotlin will be considered as first-class language for Android development. And there are four essential specialities about Kotlin. Kotlin is based on Java. And as of 2015, most of JetBrains products were developed in Java, but in 7 years, it succeeded Java for Android development because it's more lightweight, cleaner, and more concise than Java. Kotlin is easy to learn because it's specifically designed that getting into grips with the basics should be fairly straightforward. And also, it is secure to reach on top when you're starting to develop on Kotlin because Kotlin is safe to use language with the examples, such as null safety. These are some specific topics about Kotlin. Now, what do you think about the biggest challenges of Kotlin or Android development? For me, there are three biggest challenges of Kotlin, and that is to coding with quality, performance optimization, and choosing approach. Clean and properly organized code makes sure that every app update will not lead to more problems later. And moreover, it makes it easier and faster for developers to resolve unwanted errors and perform regular app maintenance. Performance optimization is an ongoing process that requires a deep understanding of both the language features and the specific requirements of your project, and thus it'll be a game changer for your apps. And last but not least, make sure you decide on the right decisions in the early stages so that you create the best possible app for your customers. For this, for the next slide, I want to show you a little caricature that is in Turkish, because I'm a Turkish myself. Here, this caricature says that a crazy man reads a book that it says, moving forward 12 steps using 10 steps. It sounds crazy, right? Yes, it sounds crazy because for moving 12 steps forward, you need to move 12 steps forward. But here on this book says you can move 12 steps forward using 10 steps. I understand that this caricature says that you can move forward furthermore using less steps because moving specifically and more efficiently makes you overcome your problems better and better. For Kotlin, I suggest you 7 steps that will make you overcome your problems, overcome your challenges, and that will make you that will make your productivity better and better. Number 1, type inference. Type inference leverage Kotlin's impressive type inference system to reduce code verbosity. Kotlin's type inference enables cleaner code while maintaining strict typing. Remember, 1 byte of code means one more and more gaining weight. Just like doing a repo, just putting yourself more weight that will make you push yourself harder, but maintaining your system that'll make you help your productivity, and that type inference helps you to do that. So, for example, here says processing value string is print line string dot hash value dot length. It's int is print line integer dot value, or else print line unknown type. That will help you understand what are you working on as an inference. Have a type, or it'll be an integer or a string. Number two, delegated properties. If you have some common properties, even though you can implement them manually every time you need them, it is more helpful to implement them once. As I said before, one byte of code that'll make your application becomes heavier, So maintaining your code is the key of your success. For example, here's their fragment argument and reading write property. Here says there are references of the arguments by your properties, and that helps your delegations to be more understood, thus help you maintain your code, your application, because there are always enough reference for your application, and thus it'll help you bundle them more and more. Number three, I'm sorry. I'm too excited for this. Extensions. Kotlin provides the ability to extend the class or an interface with no functionality without having to inherit from the class. And we can use extensions not only for extending new functionality, but also for reducing boilerplate. For example, if you're working on various types of classes, you can extend them to work on them more efficiently. For example, here you can see we have a view class, but we use them with a gone function, and you can see that you can how can I say optionalize your visibility, and also you can make your view class visible or invisible by these extensions. Number four, Jetpack Compose. As a Compose Camp instructor myself, I find Jetpack Compose most valuable thing for UI UX development. Now you may say, but we're talking about Kotlin here. What does Jetpack Compose mean for Kotlin and Android development? Kotlin provides special idioms that make it easier to write good compose code, gaining more familiarity. you know, it's really hard to pronounce it correctly. Gaining more familiarity with Kotlin style can help developers avoid some pitfalls which may have caused by misunderstanding the strength of Jetpack Compose. And considering the fact and Jetpack Compose compiler is an officially Kotlin repo, it's officially removing to Kotlin repo, that makes Jetpack Compose more valuable than it is right now. As you can see right here, you can create your UI layouts using Jetpack Compose much more efficiently. Thus, it will help your application lifecycle even better. So you can see you can create what you'll do in your application. You can set up what are you going to collect, as a data binding, because before Jetpack Compose, we used to use data binding for app layouts for user experiences, but now just do it with the Jetpack Compose. Number 5, coroutines. Using coroutines in Kotlin makes you can perform long-running tasks such as network requests, database operations, or complex computations without blocking the main thread and causing your app to freeze or crash. For example, here you can see a flow on a Kotlin application. We can simplify our flow using coroutines that'll make our program work asynchronous, but thus it'll work more efficiently because running on a simple flow that'll make run like you're jogging with a stabilized tempo. But if you're using coroutines, you can change your tempo, and that it might help you gain more tempo or less, but it'll help you to develop your application, because you can change the flow to make your application even better, and you can see the results of flows. Six, for me, it's one of the best methodology, the step for making yourself better in Kotlin is architecture methodology. In terms of architecture, there is no clear definition of matrices and which architecture to follow. Architect should be flexible enough to adopt new changes to existing code base and should support multiple platforms in terms of testability and maintainability. Now you may ask again, why am I need to understand about architecture methodology? But I said before that one of the biggest challenges of Kotlin and Android development is to choose how to approach your project. There will be a lot of different variations of projects. You, you may need to use different types of approaches. For example, here you can see the EKMP architecture model, which is used by Kotlin multi-platform. You can use declarative UI for various operating systems, but this is one of the examples of architecture methodologies. Here you can see solid methodology, which is one of the most complex methodologies in software architecture, because there are lots of layers, data layers, presentation layers, domain layers, lots of layers, because it's really hard to understand, but being complex does not mean that it's not really hard to make. The key for the success is to understand even better. And here you can see MVP, which is Model View Presenter, and which is one of the most known architecture models, design patterns of Kotlin and Android development, because you can see a model can change into different situations by user actions and the updates. So we have six steps. We have moved 6 steps ahead. That'll make you mess with your mind. You might have, sorry, you may messed with your head. So you may understand, how am I gonna make these steps even better? And that is to number 7, practice makes perfect. As you continue to explore Kotlin, embrace its features, and put them to work in your projects, with practice and creativity, you'll become a master of Kotlin, equipped to tackle a wide range of development challenges, no matter what you do, no matter what project are you on, no matter which team are you on. If you practice yourself and build as many apps as you can, that will make your productivity even better. Thus, it will make you a master of Kotlin. As a child of a tutor, I've learned lots of things from books. For example, my father was a subscriber for Chip magazine, which is really popular on Turkey. And here on that magazine, you can learn lots of things about technology, new parts, new computers, or maybe even new places to explore about technology. And that's why I want you to explore new things by books or magazines or people around you. I suggest you these 2 books, but you may use different books as well. I wanted to suggest these books because these 2 are my favorites when it comes to understand how to make your productivity even better. But you can use different kinds of books, which will be published by PAC Publishing, because PAC Publishing recently develops, no, publishes the best books you may ever read, you know? So that's all I can say about for my slide. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed and you understood about what did I just say. Let's see how you liked it as your, how do I say, with your questions.
Well, this was really awesome. I like it very much. So the spectators are,
Namaste.
and we are all. Thank you very much, Sarp. It was really cool. And the first question: any key feature of Kotlin that you dislike? Well, this is a
Sorry?
provocative question. What are the features of Kotlin you don't like?
Well, I think the least thing that I like about Kotlin is probably Elvis operators, because I think it's just I find the name. Sorry, I find the name really annoying. I mean, why would you call an operator based on a man called Elvis Presley? I don't know, but I think it's the least favorite of mine. But I think there's no feature that I don't like or dislike about Kotlin. I like Kotlin from my heart. I like Java from my heart because I started development using Java, and then I realized I can use Kotlin because it'll help me develop even better. It'll help my productivity. So I just started to develop using Kotlin.
Thank you very much. You said that you also like Java. Many developers who started with Java always, not always, but oftenly, said that that is not enough correct work with static. What do you think about it in Kotlin?
Well, yeah, I do agree with them because using static or different kinds of data structure help you makes it more complex using Java language, but Kotlin makes it much more easier because there are only two types of declaration of variables using VAR or VAL or maybe final, but this will make you much easier. So that's why I recommend people who are developing using Java to try using Kotlin instead of try to continue. But that's only my recommendation. A developer should choose any kinds of way. But for me, Kotlin is the way. That's why I put that photo for the end of the slides.
I agree with you because even if nowadays Kotlin first, Kotlin started with Java and JVM.
Yes.
Okay, we have the next question. Thank you. In the learning curve for Kotlin, different for KMP Compose, I think it is a question about the difference of learning of Kotlin multi-platform, JPEG Compose, and perhaps it is about Compose multi-platform. Have you tried Compose multi-platform? So
Yes,
this is
yes,
small
yeah.
addition for me.
hmm Yes, I tried Compose multi-platform. I was attending to a JetBrains conference about Kotlin multi-platform events, and that was it was Martin Brown's conference that to develop using Compose multi-platform. I did the same project with my uh, rivals, but yeah, there are differences between Jetpack Compose and Compose multi-platform because Compose multi-platform includes the features of different operating systems. Jetpack Compose mostly includes the features of Android, native Android itself, but Compose multi-platform includes the sorry, the features of iOS or desktop as well, because you can develop WebAssembly applications using Compose multi-platform as well.
So uh, and if you will recommend for those who would like to start with Kotlin multi-platform or Compose multi-platform, what will be the first step for them?
Well, I wouldn't really recommend to start with both of them because these two are really much advanced topics of Kotlin, and mostly they're not really stable at this point. They should really start to develop using Kotlin or maybe Java for understanding the complexity of Java, and then they can start developing Kotlin little by little, and then they can develop using either Kotlin multi-platform or Compose multi-platform. I like both of them equally.
Yes. So the advice is start always from basic. So
Yes,
thank you. Yes,
yes. Before running, you should start to learn walking, or maybe how do I say? My
Kirkland.
English is not really crawling. Yes, before running, you should try to start with walking or crawling, because if you're a newbie, you're just like a baby for development. Becoming a man, becoming a human, you need to become a baby first, and then a child, and then a human. That's the basic plan.
Yes, that's good. Uh, Thank you. How to think about Kotlin extensions? Do they break the design patterns? What do you think about it?
I don't think so, because um, Kotlin includes inline functions and extensions to make your productivity even better. For example, when you're working with recursive functions, one of the biggest problems of development, sorry, um, you may have problems of making the recursive functions correctly, but Kotlin's inline extensions, for example, dot reverse, or how do I say, um, the returning part that will make your yes, dot reversed that will make your recursive functions work efficiently, much more
Mhm.
efficiently than you try to make yourself all by yourself by defining the function. So I don't think it'll how do I say, I don't think it will break the design pattern. It's just the byte of code. I don't think it'll work byte at byte.
Yes, some syntaxes sugar is always good. Thank you. We have a lot of questions. And have you tried Kotlin on backend? And what do you think about using it in backend?
Well, I tried using Kotlin as a backend, but I don't really recommend as a backend for Kotlin. I think as a native as a native SDK, I don't think it's the right best solution for Kotlin using backend. I think people should stick with Spring Boot or JTOR instead of Kotlin itself. But I think for the backend, recently Spring Boot is much more efficient than using Kotlin itself. I think, but that is my opinion. It may change for performance or your data types. I don't know. I'm just talking about my recent developments, you know, development experiments.
Yes, if anyone has more positive experience using Kotlin and backend, I think it's also nice, and so they should continue to do this. Thank you. Swift providing closures. So, is there any way to use same in Kotlin? So, what do you think about callbacks and blocks on Kotlin side? And
Sorry.
about the efficiency. Well, when you are using blocks, for example, it's question about just like Kotlin DSL, and what do you think about its efficiency? I mean,
Kotlin DSL.
yes.
Um, what I don't really use Kotlin DSL. I don't really remember recently, because I'm just a student. I didn't really have an experience of whole Kotlin frameworks, but yeah, I'm an expert, but not really a kind of expert. I'm just a student. So I don't really have quite the experience with Kotlin DSL, but if the if those who ask me that they can try to reach me individually so that I can help it using the my resources to help them, to provide them help. Yeah, that's all I can say.
So, and I will add that everyone who used Compose, if you saw some trailing braces and it is a block of code, it's trailing block of code, it is also made mostly with Kotlin DSL, so it's the same construction as on Swift closures. So everyone use it. So and that's okay. I think sometimes everything is automated in Kotlin, so you will have your experience on when
Yes.
you need it.
Yes.
So what advantages and disadvantages do you see in the Kotlin multi-platform compared to alternative approaches, such as creating separate code bases to each platforms? What do you think about it?
Well, it was asked to me when I did my DevFest speech because it was about other kinds of cross-platform development um environments such as React Native or Flutter. But although it's not unstable right at the moment, I think Kotlin multi-platform will surpass these two other cross-platform environments because Kotlin multi-platform actually provides you a native type performance. Thus, it'll make your application work even better when you're trying to make two different applications because you're working on both different types of operating system that'll make uh, two times of work power. So it's not really easy to make maintenance on performance, but I think KMP will suppress all of them. It just needs to make sure that it's stable at the moment.
Okay, thank you very much. And also, there is a next question about Kotlin multi-platform. And if you will compare it to native approach, what is the future of Kotlin multi-platform? What do you think about it?
Well, in the future, an Android development will definitely develop an iOS application as well perfectly because Kotlin multi-platform provides you develop an iOS application using Kotlin types of code. You could just use a shared um, a shared folder and you can make your layouts, anything about your preferences on your application using different operating systems. Then you just do the rest using Android folder or iOS folder. So I think in the future, an Android developer will definitely develop an iOS application all by himself or herself. That's my prediction.
Thank you very much. It's really a nice opinion about it. So, because Kotlin multi-platform is really development, and yes, um, when people compare different approaches, there are also a lot of jokes about Flutter and Kotlin multi-platform. So, and what will you prefer by yourself? The full the approach of full multi-platform when there is some whole framework with existed on new language. For example, if Flutter used not Dart, for example, but Kotlin, and if there are separated parts, just like separated business logic and separated UI, what do you prefer by yourself?
Well, um, although I prefer myself, Kotlin is way better than those other development environments. I do communicate with Flutter or React Native developers as well. I think both of these environments needs to be established too to make productivity and also competement better because what would happen there's only one type of operating system or one type of development environment. What would people do if there's only Apple? Android was established to compete against Apple, to compete against iOS, and Kotlin was meant to make Java even better. And React Native was meant to make React.js applications work on mobile type applications, and Flutter was meant to make Android uh, developed by fully resources on Google. So for competence and productivity, different varietals of development environment needs to be established. So I don't think that only one way is the solution. Yes, my way is Kotlin, but there are lots of ways. You can choose any way you want. Only thing that matters is your productivity and your development.
That's awesome. I like such approach really much. So we will wait for several time for some questions. And I see that there are a lot of comments about JPEG Compose, and there will be few words if there will be about Compose, if there will be no other questions. So I like when people will communicate with each other on chat. That's really cool, and that's really cool reactions for any talk.
Yes, that's a repelling that's a repelling situation for me as well, because people discussing with each other about which way they use for their own productivity and development, that will help make the communities grow up, because um, if there's one person that has its own ideas, and then it he or she tries to express their ideas, and then different kinds of ideas can be born. That's the way of communities or societies work.
Yes, and that's really cool. So yes, they're still communicating with each other. So thank you very much, Sarp, and happy birthday. We would
Thank you.
like to greet you one day before. So, and yes, there are a lot of comments about Compose, and our next speaker will tell us about efficient way communicating and using JPEG Compose on real work. So, thank you, Sarp, one more time. And I think that everyone could communicate with and connect with our speaker. So, do you have um, sources or maybe some info about your contact?
Well, I just use the official documentation of Kotlin and Jetpack Compose, so that's all I can say. On the other hand, I recommended some books that was established, no, published by Pack Publishing. That'll be considered as a context too, but rather than that, I can just, how do I say? Come on, no. I can context say that this belongs to Yiğit Özgür, a Turkish caricaturist, and all those code blocks are made by me using an engine, a code block engine, and then that's the rest.
Okay, so I think that everyone will be grateful if you would share the link with your slides and you will add some info about
Definitely.
your contacts that will help people to connect with you in chat and even in maybe some social networking. So thank you one more time. That was really awesome. So and now on 2 minutes there will be next talk of our speaker Celine Demir about JPEG Compose. So and I will hide myself and I will leave the stage for another speaker and another host. Thank you, sir, one more time. Everyone,
It
have
is
a
my
nice day.
it
Yes.
is my it is my pleasure, Ms. Charkova. How do I say in Russian? Добрый день.
Thank you. That was cool. So, everyone, have a nice day, have a nice evening, and still on our connection. Goodbye.
Have a good day.